start up our startup avenue. Our next panel commits into billions of remittances flow across borders every year, sustaining families and economies. Today, these flows are evolving into faster, more transparent digital ecosystems that drive the financial institution. Joining us are three leaders shaping the future of cross-border payments: Hugo Cuevas Mor, Oscar Moreno, and Antonio Carrillo. Awesome. They'll explore how technology, trust, and regulation are building the new rails of financial connectivity. Please, a round of applause for our guests.
Hello, buenos días o buenas tardes ya. Good afternoon, Oscar, Antonio. Okay, thank you for being here with us. So, just to introduce ourselves, I'm going to introduce myself and then I'm going to let them introduce each other. So, my name is Hugo Cuevas Mor. So I was born in Guatemala but raised in Colombia. So I'm a Guatemalan with a Colombian accent, so nobody believes me that I'm Guatemalan. So I always have a problem with that. And I've been a migrant in the United States for a long time. And I've been in the remittance industry for quite some time. You can see it from my white hair. And I've been more than 30 years in this as a business person, then as a consultant, then doing many things like events and consulting for companies, institutions, regulators, governments, multilateral agents, etc. As some of you were in the previous session, so JJ mentioned something interesting that I want to repeat here just to make the link or the one for you if you were here in the session before. And he was talking about disruption and incremental evolution. And really, the remittance industry has been evolving and being disrupted for many, many years. And Oscar has been for quite some time, not as long as I am, you know. The gray hair is just that. And Felix Pago, Antonio, is really a newcomer. Not as new, but yeah. Compared to us, you're a newcomer. So I'm very happy to have this here because we can have this discussion with you guys. But I want to say that, and I wrote a whole book about it. It's called Enviando Dinero, and its version in English, Sending Money. It's a whole history of the remittance industry. And disruption has been happening incrementally. And from the outside, you can say it's an incremental evolution. For us inside, it's been disruption through disruption. And some of you probably don't even know what is a telex. So we come from telex to faxes to emails to web services to all of that. Always in the process of digitalizing, making remittances digital. What is new here, what all these disruptions that are happening, and Volcano is just shows that is really that the digital evolution, not only for technology, but innovation, that has also pushed the remittance industry to change, to get better, and for new players to come in. And new players that add up to all this ecosystem. And in introduction to this panel, it says, that simple money transfers. Money transfers have never been simple. I tell you, they've never been. And we've been finding so many ways to do distribution. Not only and because you have two sides of this, you have the sender and the receiver, and there's two sides of business. Very few companies do both sides. You have specialized companies in the sending, specialized companies in the receiving, and that is a very particular ecosystem. But we have built most of the alternative payment systems are nowadays being, so we build our rails. Yes, maybe settlement always through SWIFT, but we built many rails to overcome some of the technology challenge that we have when we didn't have the technology. But that's just an introduction. because we're going to go ahead and talk about some questions that we come together just to understand your desire for information about the remittances. Before I get into that, I want to talk about migrants. We're going through very painful times right now. Migrants in the United States have been deported, and there's terror. They're being living just by themselves or hiding, and that's really it really breaks my heart because we've been working with migrants and their financial stability, the transparency of the system. So for us, this is time, and Guatemala and all Central America and South America and Caribbean and Africa, they're countries where the economics of the country, the economy depends on remittances in a large way. The money sent by migrants is used by banks and other financial institutions to balance the balance of payments. And so we, as migrants, we contribute so much to the economy. So I just, that note, because it's a sad moment, because migrants are just a pawn, really. It's just, so I'm just going to say that because this is something that we feel deeply. Now, that's my introduction. Oscar, tell us about yourself a little bit.
That's quite a big introduction, my friend. But anyways, thank you. My name is Oscar Moreno. I am born and raised in Mexico, but living in the US since 2015, so already 10 years. Living in Austin, Texas for the last 7 years already. So I'm happy to be here, leading the efforts in Uniteller for all the global expansion and new global business development. So that's what I've been doing there. And as you say, I've been in the industry for 21 years. I'm not ashamed to say that. So it's quite a journey so far, and a lot of changes for sure, but learning always through the process. And what we have learned, at least at this point, is that nothing is consistent. Everything changes every single day. So
it's a very, very dynamic industry we are in.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Antonio.
Yeah. Well, I'm Antonio Carrion. I'm born in Peru. I live in Mexico City for around the past 5 years, but living outside Peru for the past 10 years. I have a master's degree on entrepreneurship and innovation, and I'm passionate on helping the startups from different stages to grow and expand their products and services all around the world. So yeah, we are super passionate about the remittances world. It's crazy how it's getting and how it's changing this remittances world. That last year I have been here in Volcano, and this year is crazy that necessity how has been changing. No, so in Felix we have been revolutionary the remittances world through WhatsApp. No, we have been using WhatsApp as our main point of communication, our main platform for helping migrants on the US to send money to their loved ones as easy as sending a WhatsApp message. No, so yeah, super exciting for us knowing that we are helping so much people all around Latam.
When I met Manuel Godoy, the founder of Felix Pago, he told me the idea, just having a coffee in Miami. It was interesting because right about the same time, WhatsApp was trying to pilot WhatsApp Pay, and they failed for many reasons we're not going to discuss. So I'm very impressed that you were able to use that channel yourselves as a platform. Now, my first question is, as remittance service providers, and I use sometimes more that name, that money transmitters, because there's so many remittances service providers right now because regulation has changed. So there's fintechs, there's cards, there's so many different. But so we use remittance service providers have been using it more just to englobe everything. So as remittance service providers, so the role of your company is to deliver remittances quickly and securely in whatever way the sender or the recipient or a combination of both they desire. So my question here is, what alliances or partnership with fintechs, with innovative financial fintechs are being developed, are you been working with that you can name to give us an idea of how this digital ecosystem transformation is also transforming the way remittances are sent or received?
Yeah, definitely. In the past, probably the focus was everything was concentrated to make the transaction or the payment being delivered. Now that definitely has changed. Now the expectations from the sender and from the beneficiary are totally different. The expectations are bigger, and they want to be part of a bigger ecosystem at the end of the day. So yes, alliance needs to be done because you cannot do this alone. A lot of things needs to be done with not only with partners, but also with entities, with regulator entities in order to be able to provide this type of solutions. Because the products are there, that's for sure. And I think a good example is Felix. Felix is one of these things that has been evolved. In the past, you send money, give a ticket, go to the ATM, or I mean to the teller and collect the money, and that's it. Right now, just basically send the money through WhatsApp, and that's it. And there are many use cases, other products that can be named in that regard. But definitely, alliance needs to be done. So fintechs with wallets now, basically you can pay transactions online, where you can have a lot of use case. You have the cases, for instance, in Singapore, or I mean, sorry, in Philippines, Gcash, or in China, Alipay, where you send money, but it's not only about sending the money, it's also about what you give besides to send the money, what you can do with that money. You can spend, you can borrow, you can, get insurance. So, but that definitely is through alliances, and it's not one simple alliance. So you need to do multiple alliances, and something that I can tell you based on my experience, in the last 5 years, I've been responsible to grow or to expand the capabilities of the company, and definitely that's something that is hard. It's very difficult to align alliances, and sometimes you can have the partnerships, but that doesn't mean you're going to be successful with those partnerships.
That's true. Thank you very much, Antonio.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that alliances or partnerships are the best way to grow. No, we can't do it all by ourselves. So we have been working with different alliances all through our road for the request remittance or the sending the remittances.
And I think that's your job within Felix Lago.
Yeah. I'm in Felix. I'm in charge of the partnerships, so I'm the one that is looking for all these partners for expanding Felix on all Latam. No, so yeah, I think that the partnerships are the best way of the best and the best ways to grow. So right now we are, thanks to partnerships, we have been building so much new opportunities for the users to send money, not only in Latam but also in the US. We have now launched our cash-in deposit on the US. So this opens up our platform for not only the users that are bancarized or have a credit or a debit card on the US, but they can also deposit on cash. And on Latam, on Latin America, we have built a strong platform called Request a Remittance that help us integrate our product, our services for the banks, wallet, fintech, not fintech companies, for them to integrate this bottom or this platform on their digital platforms for doing that their users can use Felix through WhatsApp in 3 easy steps. So this is super exciting for us because we have seen an increase of volume on all these partners. We have working with Meli, with Nubank, with Spin by Oxxo in Mexico, and they are growing so fast. We have seen that before and after they integrate this platform, this request remittance.
And it's interesting because on the On the sending side, yes, there's been disruption, but mostly from cash agents to apps. That's the main disruption. But we don't see, I feel that there's more disruption on the receiving side because it's integrating that remittance into the economy and giving opportunities for the family of the senders to, uh, save money, use it for this and that, just building the ecosystem. There's always cash, and cash, everybody's working to get rid of cash, but cash is there, it stays for many, many reasons. In the sending side, because a lot of the migrants are paid with cash, because they cannot be integrated into the economy because the countries don't solve their immigration problems. They're not legal, and then it becomes a big issue. That's one thing. But on the receiving side, there is no issue on that. So that's I just wanted to add that. Now, what do you think, Oscar, Antonio, that we are missing from our remittance ecosystem and our integration partnerships that we need to solve? What are still, let's say, the pain points that maybe we can, there's fintechs here that can solve? I mean, I know it's difficult. It's a difficult question, but let's brainstorm on that.
Well, it's multiple factors about that. I guess, and I guess the main topic, and it will be probably the same thing that happened with every single thing. You need to basically move in the same direction. And fintechs are moving, I mean, they are innovators, they want to move fast, and definitely something that is good. But on the other side, banks are slow movers, they're more cautious, they're more thinking about regulation. And also, you have the fact of the regulatory framework in every country. So that definitely stops somehow a little bit the dynamic of this, where you want to reach at some point. So I will say, I mean, it's clear that we're going in that direction. We're just probably not going to the right speed because all these elements that we still have as barrier in the table.
Totally true. I agree 100%. Antonio.
Yeah, just to add on those, I think that the mindset of the banks is super important. I think that a lot of banks seeing this new product, new platform as their competitors, and I think that we are not their competitors. We can do an alliance, we can do a partner to grow, to help them grow, to help them reach out for these new users, for these new customers, for these new volumes. So I think that that's super important. And the other thing is about trust. Like you said, cash is king, no? So, and most people want to retrieve their money on cash because they don't trust about just saying the banks, they don't trust the banks of
Or the
receiving.
digital ecosystem, they don't trust it, or they tried it and it's expensive. Cash it doesn't have a cost, quote unquote.
And it's funny because we have been doing market research all around LATAM and asking people that are retrieving cash, that we have seen most people that retrieve cash, they retrieve the cash, they make hours of lines, traveling, lines in the banks, they retrieve the cash, count the cash, the amount, and instantly deposit on their bank account. So we have been asking them why they do that, and the main thing is about trust. So I think that we can work together to digitalize this opportunity, these persons, because once they are digitalized, I think that the volume increase, that the ticket per percent increase, and everything increase.
Yeah. So yes, the bank partnerships are very complex, and Uniteller, it belongs to Banorte, so you're in a way you're independent, but so you understand both sides, and you've been a banker too, correct? So I never been, so again.
Lucky you.
But I tell you, it's very difficult on the sending side. It's very difficult to get banking partnerships. That means United States, Europe, all the sending countries. And even in Latin America, you can develop receiving applications that work well. When you start sending money out, then you get into a lot of issues. So yes, regulators too. And we work with regulators. I've been in regulators conferences talking about that. I've always been very frank, honest. I tell them the truth. But sometimes I said it's a lack of trust. What's going on there? And really is because sometimes regulators doesn't really make the laws. They're politicians. And there's this disruption there. Because this topic, most of the time in the sending countries, is not important. The regulators are faced to, I understand, we want to do something, but the regulation says that this and that and that. So, that's one thing. The other thing about digitalization, domestic ecosystem. Everyone here in this event that is working in the digital ecosystem are important. The more the domestic ecosystem works, the more the remittance companies are able to plug into it, and the more the user experience in the receiving country works better. Let's discuss this. Let's see if what I said and what you said is where we're getting at.
Yes, definitely the better domestic ecosystem works, definitely will facilitate when transactions came through from abroad. That's for sure. That's just part of the equation, and that probably get us back to why we are slowing down this process. And I mean, internally, even the systems internally domestic, and sometimes they don't have the capability to talk each other in a straightforward way. So we have exceptions, or we've been seeing some new tendencies with PIX, for instance, in Brazil, or in Singapore, they have also sort of same systems. In Colombia, it's coming Breve. In Mexico, it's Spain. US, FedNow. So that has been changing, but definitely is something that is still happening. It's not something that is getting done yet at this point. And true, I mean, sometimes, as I said before, no one is going into the same direction because politicians or regulators probably they have a different agenda. Maybe banks want to do things, but they want to do it in their own way. And fintechs usually with a lot of amount of money behind them, trying to accelerate things because they need to provide results. So that's probably the complexity of that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that also about regulation, I think that they are a step back on these huge new opportunities of innovation. So I think that they are going into it, but in another time. So I think that we have to build an ecosystem together for going with these regulators, getting these new technologies on the platforms, getting used to them, for letting the politicians, the regulators, all of those, I don't know, maybe be more in touch of these new opportunities.
Another issue that I want to you were going to add something? Another issue that is very important in the remittance industry is the back end, is the settlement. And that's a lot of disruptions happening there because for quite a long time, really, you basically, communications have speed up. You send a remittance, communication gets practically instantly to the receiver. And we went from 3 days to 4 days to 2 days to 24 hours, 8 hours. So now it is instant. So the receiver knows immediately. Behind the scenes, you can't believe how hard it is because you need to have a lot of capital, either a lot of liquidity to be able to send money to the payer on the other side. The bank is not going to pay unless they have money in their account. And the company and the receiving end, fintech, may give you a credit line to offset that, but it's a lot of money that these companies have to be able. Now, things are changing. There's new rails coming, and there's rails developed by a number of ways. either by card companies that are developing some rails, and now we have crypto and digital and stable coins developing. Now, the adoption of digital, crypto, or stable coins have been slow in the industry, yes, and not because there's not an understanding really. It's because how you manage the relationship with your bank. The same question. Oh, if I tell the bank that I'm using crypto, I might lose my account. It's like, I don't want to do that, you know. But there's a lot of disruption in there, in that. And I have met here yesterday very interesting solutions on that side. And yes, maybe that will lower the need of liquidity, and we'll be able so because the flow of funds is very slow, while the flow of information is like that. Give me your point of view on that, now that we have just a minute left.
Yeah, definitely tools like stablecoin is helping a lot into this industry in general, mainly for several purposes. Probably right now is the main use case. I mean, helping with the credit, helping to provide good rates where you have countries with a lot of change of FX rates during the day. So yeah, definitely stablecoins is a good evolution of the crypto. Still needs to be probably more clear about the regulation. Still banks are hesitating. Some banks are promoting that. Some banks, they say it's okay to work with them, but when then they try to use that use case, it gets complicated at some point. But yeah, for us, it's clear the path that the stablecoins is getting into industry.
Yeah, I think that stablecoins is the future of the request for remittance and the money transferring across the world. You know? So we have been using stablecoins since the beginning. We are using it for the remittances sending to Mexico right now. And I think that the most important thing is that we have been using them on the back end, because we know that stablecoins is hard to understand for most people. No, so I think that
to move it to the user side.
Yeah. So I think that the succeed of the stablecoin business is that it will be when people stop talking about them and start using them without knowing. So that's one thing that we want to do in Felix.
And there's something very interesting that I've been following is about sovereignty. So soberanidad, I don't know if in Spanish you say it like that, is countries like Brazil who are forced by geopolitics to say, okay, I cannot depend on SWIFT like Russia did. Okay, I have to develop my own rails. Okay, and then stablecoins come in as a way. I mean, how Brazil has managed their own ecosystem with PIX, developed their own digital ecosystem, and now they want to scale it to be an international BRICS Pay or something they're calling it. It's very interesting because that integration between countries. I mean, if that comes to happen in Central America, for example, to be able to work together, because the world is changing, alliances are changing. You cannot depend in alliances like we did before, and with that, I just want to leave you with that thought in their mind. Our time is up. Thank you very much. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, Antonio. I hope this was good for you. Thank you.